Okay, so today, guys, we are going to be talking about what is a healing journey, what that actually looks like, why it's so important, and how it helps us find real love. So, a healing journey is basically any steps that you take to heal from your past and to shift patterns. And when I'm talking about patterns, I'm talking about patterns in your love life, relationship patterns, but even patterns that are generational. Like if you have a history in your family of having really bad relationships, this is what I'm talking about. This is what a healing journey is. It's stopping, searching for something outside of you to heal that pain, and it's turning within. So I am curious if you guys resonate with the term healing journey, or if you understand what I'm talking about when I say going on a healing journey. Just again, let me know in the comments. I'm curious to see here. And maybe my comments aren't working today. That would be a bummer. Let me just see if I can see my own comment. Seems working. Could you guys leave me a comment here just so I can see if this is actually working? Okay. So, yeah, so a healing journey is also a spiritual awakening. So I do also talk a lot about spiritual awakening because really it's the same thing. It's again turning within. And there's a lot, there's a lot of new age spirituality that can be very helpful. But a true, genuine spiritual awakening and a true, genuine spiritual journey is a healing journey. It's nothing more than turning within and doing our own healing work. Like when people say do the work, like you need to do the work, this is what they're talking about. This is the work, okay? So it's to release the pain from the past and shift your own patterns so that your life can be better. It's ultimately so that you can have a much better experience in whatever it is you're looking to heal, whether it's your relationships, your financial situation. Maybe it's a journey that you're undertaking to love yourself more, to love your body more, whatever it is. This is what a healing journey is. So how does this help us find love? Like, why should we even care about going on a healing journey? Right? So why we should care is because without going on a healing journey, after you've had some bad relationships, or maybe even just one, it's very difficult to then get into the space where you can have a healthy relationship. Why is this? Because what happens is we tend to get into patterns. Like I said, these could be generational patterns or just patterns within our own life. And we can get stuck in those patterns, and without taking a time out, taking a pause, and going on this healing journey, we can't have a healthy relationship. It's really not possible. And I say this from experience because, without doing my own healing work, I was just repeating my old patterns, getting into bad relationship after bad relationship. So it really took me pausing, getting some support, and doing this deep inner work to break those patterns and to now be in a really healthy relationship. So it's not about law of attraction. And people speak a lot about this, and other, spiritual-minded dating coaches speak a lot about this. It's not that we're going to keep attracting bad partners, right? It's not that we need to raise our vibration. That's not really what's going on here. It's that we need to do the work in order to feel good enough, right? In order to feel worthy of love when it does come our way, okay? We need to love ourselves enough to be able to let go of a bad relationship and to let go of the people who are just not right for us, to make room for the people who are. So without this healing work, without going on this healing journey, it doesn't happen. And I'm curious as to you guys, what experiences you've had with this, with your own dating, with your own relationships. If you haven't gone on a healing journey, I'm curious to know, have you experienced this? Have you experienced this pattern where it's like every person that you meet is just not good for you? And then it gets hopeless, and then you feel like, I'm not good enough and no one will love me, right? It's this vicious cycle, and it doesn't have to be like this. That's really what I'm here telling you guys today. It does not have to be like this. I understand that place because I've been there myself, but you can break out of it. And that's what going on a healing journey is all about. Again, it's not about raising vibration. It's not about doing the inner work so you can magically attract someone. It's doing the inner work so you feel good enough, so you feel worthy and deserving of a good partner when they come to you. Because like I've talked about in a lot of my other videos, if we aren't there, we can have what I call subconscious blocks. Because we don't feel good enough, because we don't feel worthy, we are blocking the good partners when they do come to us. We say, oh, I'm not, they're not my type, I'm not interested in them, and we push them away. So that's what this healing journey is about. So how do we do this? First of all, is this making sense? Please let me know in the comments if this is making sense to you guys. So how do we do this, right? Now that we know we need to go on a healing journey, how do we actually do it? So the first thing is we stop running from our pain. We embrace it. We feel it. We sit with it. This can be one of the hardest steps to take, truly. We want to, again, stop running from pain. We want to start turning inward and paying attention to it. So instead of, when we feel pain, running to a new relationship or drinking or distracting ourselves with something, with activities, with work, we stop doing all that and we start to feel the pain. And again, this can be so difficult. And this is always why I recommend getting support, you guys, because this can be tough to do. You really, really want someone to be there with you, kind of holding your hand through this process when you're going on your own healing journey. It can be tough, but this is how you heal. There's a lot of information out there that talks about feeling is healing, and that is 100% true. If we want to heal something, we do have to feel it. So this is step number one in the healing journey, is we stop running from stuff and we start to feel our emotions. So Mia is saying, I'm just struggling to stay away from the ones that aren't for me. I get so lonely sometimes. Yeah, Mia, and that's why I do recommend getting support, because if you are doing this healing journey for real, which clearly you are, it can get tough at times. It can get lonely, and you can be tempted to just go for someone because they're there, because of the loneliness that's coming up within you. But what I can tell you is that loneliness is a normal part of the healing journey, okay? If you're feeling lonely, you're on the journey. That's how it is. So we want to just start to sit with these feelings. Some people like to meditate, and I say if you like to meditate, go for it. I never really resonated with formal meditation. I just liked to sit and feel my feelings. Like I would just sit on the couch and just feel stuff that I had been running from, or that I've been trying to distract myself from. And it's tough at times. But it's what they call the it's a hero's journey, essentially, because it can be so difficult. So Mia says, I used to be okay with the loneliness, but then COVID happened. Yeah. And now I'm starting over. So yeah, Mia, you are not alone in that experience. Many, many people are struggling with loneliness. And that's also why I've opened this group up, is so that you guys all have a place to connect We're all kind of on the same page here. We understand the pain of bad relationships. And so please feel free to post here whenever you are struggling with something. That's what this group is for. And we can all come in and provide you support. But yeah, I feel for you. The loneliness can get difficult. But again, this is what the healing journey is about. And know that all of these emotions that you're feeling, they will not last forever. They are all temporary, okay? So as you're going on this healing journey and you're feeling this stuff, feeling all the stuff that you've been running from, just remind yourself that it will not last forever. It is temporary. I promise you that. Promise you that. No emotion is going to last forever. So the second thing that we want to do when we're going on this healing journey, how to actually do this, is we need to learn how to do relationships differently. So if you've been in a toxic relationship, an abusive relationship, right? What we need to learn how to do is how to choose differently and then how to be differently in that relationship. The most important thing is to learn how to choose differently. So by this, I mean we need to learn how to shift how we choose someone. Like if you were someone that was choosing a partner based on maybe chemistry or how excited they made you feel or maybe how many butterflies they gave you, we need to learn how to shift that. And in doing that, this is also going to bring up emotions. Because what if you've been doing that, if you've been going for chemistry or that person that you're just like inexplicably drawn to, that's because you've been operating on your unconscious wounds. And so when you stop doing that, when you stop trying to heal that wound with another person who's going to just like fit perfectly into that wound and just keep triggering it, what you're left with is uncomfortable emotions. So I hope this is making sense to you guys so far. When you are, again, going on this healing journey and you're learning how to date differently, you're learning how to choose differently, and you stop going for the person who is unconsciously going to match those wounds that you have, you're left with some emotions to feel, okay? Yeah, like Mia is saying, I choose the ones that aren't emotionally available. Exactly. So there's a reason that you've been doing that, because there's probably subconsciously something going on that, you know, we're all kind of subconsciously driven to heal, right? So the problem is when we try to do this through choosing the wrong people. That's not what actually helps us heal. Our subconscious says, oh yeah, go for this guy. Go for this guy who's going to be just like your father or just like the guy who hurt you in the past. And it feels like that's going to be the solution, right? If this guy will love me, then I'm going to feel better. No, that's not what happens. When we shift that, when we start choosing differently, when we choose someone who's actually going to be able to give us what we need, that's when a lot of our stuff starts to come up, right? That's when some of the uncomfortable feelings that we've been trying to avoid come up. Because, Mia, if on, you know, and this goes for anyone who's experiencing this, if we've been going for people who are emotionally unavailable, what that does mean is that some part of us is also unavailable, is also afraid of real intimacy. And so that's what this healing journey is about. It's about opening up those parts that are afraid of intimacy, that are afraid of love, and healing them. Taking a look at them, opening them up, seeing what they have to tell you, and then releasing them. All right, so I hope that this is making sense. Yeah, Mia says that makes sense. What wound is that? Mia is asking. So, you know, Mia, this really could be a number of different things. And that's why it really helps to work with someone one-on-one. But you know, it could be things like maybe in your past you equated love with getting hurt. And so therefore you choose people who really can't actually show up for you in that way. They really can't be intimate with you because you actually, deep down, a part of you doesn't want that. So that could be something. Another thing could be that deep down maybe you don't feel good enough. Maybe you don't feel worthy of love. Maybe, you know, people in your past have made you feel like you didn't deserve it. And so subconsciously what happens is we push it away then because we want to be like, the subconscious is so weird, you guys, but we want to be proven right. We want, like, the subconscious wants to be proven right in the fact where if it thinks that, oh, you know, maybe I am really not good enough, it doesn't want to be proven wrong. So it's this weird, crazy phenomenon, but to not be proven wrong, you keep choosing people who really make you feel not good enough. And so there could be many, many different things going on, but you know, if you are choosing people who are emotionally unavailable, yes, there most likely is a part that is afraid of intimacy. And so that's why this healing journey is so, so important. So back to what I was talking about here, you know, we need to learn how to not only do dating differently, but we need to learn how to do relationships differently. We need to learn how to respond instead of react. Okay, that's a big one. You know, if you haven't ever had a healthy relationship, the first time you are in one, there's a lot to learn because you haven't had the chance to have actual healthy communication, right? So we need to learn how to communicate in a way that is nonviolent, that is still able to, where we're still able to express our needs, but not completely push away someone else. We want to do it in a kind but firm way. And so these are all things that have to happen on a healing journey. And I've talked about this in another video, but when you're first learning how to do these things, it's uncomfortable because these are skills that we're probably not used to using. You know, maybe in the past when we got triggered, we would lash out or we would give someone the silent treatment. And so learning how to shift that and behave in a healthy way is also going to bring up some discomfort. Because when we were lashing out, it was a way to try to cover up that pain, right? So when we stop doing that, again, it all comes back to feeling the feelings. We're going to be feeling a lot of stuff. And this is the essence of the healing journey. So if you're ever wondering, like, gosh, am I doing this right? Because it feels like I'm just really uncomfortable a lot and there's a lot of pain coming up and there's a lot of fear. Yes, you're doing it right. And again, this is what I'm here for. I am essentially a guide for you on your healing journey. So if you ever have questions, please feel free to reach out to me. And then the next step, the last thing that we need to do to go on a healing journey, how to do a healing journey here, is we need to learn how to take accountability for our actions. So this is so important because, again, if you've been in a toxic relationship, if you've been in an abusive relationship, you know that one of the things that happens in those relationships is your partner does not take any accountability for their actions, any at all. And so what we want to do, not that we are being abusive or toxic, but what we want to create and what we want to foster more of is taking our own accountability for our behavior. Because let's face it, none of us are perfect here. There's always going to be things that we can improve on in our relationships. So again, taking that accountability, owning when we've done something wrong, when we've messed up, apologizing, and then trying to do better is a huge part of this piece here. And this is so important because it just helps us have integrity. And integrity is a very, very attractive feature in a partner. I'm going to take a sip of water here. Hold on, you guys. Integrity is what I tell you guys to look for in a partner, and we also need to have that within ourselves. Integrity is huge. So, does this make sense so far? As I'm going along here, please let me know if it's making sense and if you have any questions about what I'm saying here. So, what naturally happens then if we are going on this healing journey and we have done all these things? We're feeling our feelings, we're learning how to do things differently, we're taking accountability. What naturally happens, okay, is that we don't tolerate that crap anymore that we used to, right? We feel worthy. We feel deserving. And so when those emotionally unavailable people come into our lives, we're like, no, thank you. This is not what I want. When we are naturally embodying the qualities, like I said, of integrity, of doing our own healing, of having accountability, we naturally want that in other people. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful, amazing thing that happens. And I watched it within myself, and I watch it with the other women that I work with. It just naturally happens that you realize, what I'm looking for is what I'm doing myself. I want someone with integrity. I want someone who is healthy. I want someone who can show up. And you naturally start to kind of like repel the people who aren't interested or in that dynamic, who can't show up in integrity. And it's not this law of attraction thing. It's not like you've now shifted something and boom, 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 no one is ever going to approach you anymore who isn't in that place. Not true, because I tell you guys every single day, I'm still getting really crazy friend requests from widows all over the world. You know those too. So it's not like that. It's not like all of a sudden you stop getting those people. You just no longer entertain them. You don't entertain them anymore because you know what you're looking for, and you know you deserve so much better than that. Okay? We don't tolerate someone who's treating us badly anymore because we treat ourselves so well. Because we are truly, truly loving ourselves. And therefore, the people who show up in your life who don't treat you well, not good enough anymore. Bye. So this is how the healing journey helps you find real love. If you haven't done this, if you haven't done the work, as they say, it can be difficult because you can get tempted to get pulled into something because, you're lonely, you're going through a hard time, and it would just be easier to have someone in your life, even though they're not that great and maybe they don't treat you well. When you're doing your work, you literally can't tolerate that anymore. It just feels wrong. So again, this is why I share so much about the healing journey, because it is essential. It is essential. I cannot emphasize it enough, really. Because if we're not doing this, we're going to just revert back to our old patterns. And, I say this from experience. Been there, done that. As soon as I was dating based on old patterns, and as soon as I did this healing work, things shifted for me. And I could no longer tolerate people who were not showing up in the way that they needed to, in the way that I deserved and all of you deserve. So, any questions so far before I continue on here? So I don't see any. Okay, I'm going to continue here. So if you are someone who has stayed in relationships with unavailable partners, if you are someone who doesn't find men who like you attractive, that's another big sign of something subconscious going on. If you are someone who has consistently felt not good enough in relationships and been attracted to people who make you feel that way, I know I have. I certainly have in the past. If you are also someone who has been really envious of other women who seem to have good relationships and just wondered what it was about them that made them so attractive, keep listening. And if you are someone who has felt like healthy relationships were for other people and not for you, because I know that I felt that at many different points. I saw other women having good relationships and I thought, well, I guess that's just not for me. That's for them, but I'm different and that's not for me. So comment me, by the way, if you are resonating with this, if this sounds familiar. And the reason that I'm sharing this is because I have a program that can help you. It's my Living Free Finding Love program. And essentially I walk with you on this healing journey so you can break these patterns, so you can love yourself. And so the people that do come into your life who are not good enough, you can say goodbye to them and make room for the good ones and find real love. We release all of your emotional baggage that you've been carrying around. One of the things that I talk about here in the healing journey is we have to feel this stuff. If we've suppressed it, if we're keeping it within ourselves, That's what keeps us in those old patterns. So what I do in my program is I help you to release it. We bring it up. I use very, very different, powerful, holistic healing modalities, and we bring all this stuff up and we release it so that you're not tolerating all of this crap anymore, truly. And once you do this, once you release all of this stuff, you actually kind of start glowing from the inside. You feel lighter, you feel more free, and that makes you extremely attractive to partners. It's it's something really cool that I see within my clients. They actually start to glow a little bit differently. But then what we also do is we help you to unwind all of those thoughts that you may have had, like the thoughts that healthy relationships just aren't for me. I'm not good enough. Because none of that stuff is true. And so what we help you do is rewire your subconscious mind to actually view yourself realistically. To see that, yeah, I'm worthy of love. I'm an amazing person. I deserve to have an amazing partner. So that's part of what we do too. I also teach you how to date differently. I teach you how to find the right person and how to avoid the wrong person. I teach you how to have clear boundaries, how to communicate nonviolently, how to show up in your relationships in a healthy way so you can keep the relationship once you do find it. And so that you can be attractive to a healthy partner. Because as we know, people want to date someone who is like them. So the healthy guys that are out there, they want a healthy woman, right? Or they want someone who at least is doing their work to try to be as healthy as possible. So when we get you to that place, those healthy guys are like, ooh yeah, and they go for you. They really want that. Something like my partner, I've talked to him about this a lot. He's got a lot of friends who are looking for really great women, and they're great guys. They have done their healing work, or they're currently doing it, and they're interested in someone who is doing the same. So if you want a healthy person, you have to be able to show up in that healthy way. And this is what I teach you how to do in my program here. And we also help you to love yourself, because this is what the journey is about. This is the core of the healing journey, learning to love yourself. And when I talk about self-love, I am not talking about, just like saying some affirmations and writing some stuff down. When I'm talking about self-love, I mean genuine self-love, real self-love. Self-love that's not just gonna go away when you have a bad day. Self-love that is permanent and stays with you. And it's a very different quality than some of the surfacey self-love that people talk about. Go for a walk or do your makeup. That's good and that's helpful, but that's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about true, genuine self-love. And when you love yourself, this also helps you to be discerning with your partners, because we want to be okay on our own. Not that we don't want a relationship, not that, we're giving up hope here, but when you're okay on your own, that helps you be able to choose a really good partner. So you're not going for the first person that just shows up because you don't want to be alone. So that's what I help you do also. I help you love yourself so you're okay on your own and you can be really, really discerning in who you're choosing to bring into your life. So comment me if you guys are resonating with this and if you are interested in going on your own healing journey. And if you have any questions about working with me, and I will reach out to you. You can either comment me or you can message me privately. I have made the options to work with me extremely affordable. And it's because I want all of you to be able to have a healthy relationship. And I don't want anything to hold you back from this, because healthy relationships are not for other people. They are for you. They are absolutely for you. Okay? So I don't want you to spend one more second believing that it's just not for me. Because I can promise you, I have been there too. I have thought all of those things. And I am here on the other side in a healthy relationship. So if you have ever thought that, if you've been watching my videos and and if you were thinking, no, I'm just going to watch these videos and I'm not going to work with her because that's just for other people, or that's not for me. I'm telling you, you're wrong. It is absolutely for you if you're willing to do the work. So, you know, like I have this group here and I do these lives to help you guys, and they're very important. They're a very important piece of the puzzle. But without doing the inner healing work, in addition to watching these videos and to learning as much as you can, things aren't really going to shift. Because again, that inner healing piece, that healing journey is so important. You need all the aspects. You need the education, you need this kind of stuff, like me talking to you and sharing things with you, but you also need that inner healing piece. And that's why I've combined the two in my program, so you can have the best possible chance of finding love. All right, so as usual, if you have any questions, please put them in here. I'm going to just scroll up here and see if I missed anything. But yeah, you guys, thank you so much for watching. And again, if you have any questions about what I talked about here, you can comment below. I'll go back and check the comments later. Or if you're interested in working with me, message me. But this is what a healing journey is. And I'm going to be talking more about this in the future here, and just more details about what the healing journey is really all about. So thank you all for watching. I don't see any questions here or comments, so I'm going to end this today. But thank you guys. I will see you next week. Talk to you soon.